Fortnite Save the World has pulled itself from its 8-bit disappointment that was last week. This week, we have brand new weapons, brand new collection book stuff that lets you get any single hero that you may want, plus a lot of cool stuff. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. This is the Storm Report. Since there's so much to cover, let's start with the event store. The Bobcat, as you will see, is something you definitely 100% want to pick up, especially if you do not have a good assault rifle yet. This gun is amazing. It does what it's supposed to do very well, and we will get into that a little later in the video. Up next is Hotfixer Hazard and the Copper Hammer Crush. Both decent characters. If you like playing constructors, he has one of the best supports for constructor mains, and the hammer shot is one of the highest damage per shot guns in the entire game. If you're looking for a new assault rifle, or if you are constructor main, definitely pick those up. The only other thing I will suggest that you grab are the floor spikes that you can get with your daily coins. They are top 3 floor traps in the game, and if you don't have one, you absolutely should. That's what you should get from this event store. Let's move on. Let's talk about the collection book and what they did that changed the entire way the game is played. No longer do you have to gamble your money away on llamas or anything to get that one character you may need. Now, with the new system, any character you want, except for a certain few, can be researched. It costs a varying amount of manuals and flux to do so, and the mythic ones are quite expensive, but that's what you're supposed to strive for. Everybody wants a mythic Kyle or a mythic Grenadier, and the only way in the past to get one was to actually just spend money on llamas and hope to RNGesus that you succeeded, that you got what you wanted. And 9 times out of 10, the drop rate was so low that you wouldn't, and it sucked. But now, with this new system, anything that you may want, you can quote unquote research and gain that weapon, that schematic, that hero, whichever it may be, by just playing the game. But wait, there's more. Now you can finally unslot items that you may have accidentally slotted before. This will cost you 20 V-Bucks. As I was told, the reason it costs 20 V-Bucks is so you won't power level your collection book and then take everything out. Now, do you have to worry about dropping levels when you unslot something? No, you won't drop any levels. So in the video, I am level 128. If I was to take out 60 things, I would still be level 128, but I would have to pay back all of that experience that I took out. That is the reason why it costs 20 V-Bucks, and I think it's quite cheap. You can get V-Bucks pretty easily just by playing this game. But the coolest thing about this patch is finally being able to play characters or use weapons that you just slotted on a whim. In this part right here, you see me unslotting a blue Sarah Claus. I've always wanted to play this ninja, like always, especially now with the new melee life leech. She could be very good. I've only had a blue one, but I have a ton of flux saved up where I'm gonna bring her right up to legendary and finally try her out. I had pipes, wrenches, pulverizers, all these hydraulic weapons that I never really gave a shot. And now with the new reroll system, the Recombobulator, I can make all of these guns that originally didn't have very good rolls into monsters and have a lot of fun doing so. It's a great system. I am so glad they introduced this. Anything in the game that you may have missed out on, as long as you put something, anything in your collection book, you can take them back out and give them a shot. Outlanders are slowly but surely becoming the best class in the game. What may have went by the wayside in this patch is the increased damage and impact and knockback and everything to all of the AoE pistols. That includes the Zap Zap, the Tiny Instrument of Death, and the Freedom's Herald. all considered by most to be the worst guns in the game, received a dramatic boost to their base damage and their impact, making them not so bad. An Outlander's main problem is the lack of AoE, especially if you're playing Ranger Deadeye, who is considered the best DPS Outlander there is. This character had everything going for it except for some sort of AoE multi-damage ability, but now with this change, these pistols have become pretty great. None of the pistols you see in this footage are re-rolled with the recombobulator. They are all legacy weapons, therefore they are not even at their peak potential, but I'm hitting for these kinds of numbers. With the Freedom's Herald, an AoE splashing firecracker pistol, I'm hitting for 180,000 a shot onto a 1 tile radius. It destroys everything little and even one-shots Husky Husks up to a certain point. The Zap Zap was hitting for 320,000 damage on critical hits, one-shotting lasers, Husky Husks, and half-healthing smashers. And finally, the Tiny Instrument of Death, which is probably the funnest gun in the entire game, has been hitting for consistently 150,000 damage, again in a splash AoE thing. The base crit chance plus the extra crit damage on a Ranger Deadeye makes these guns hit very hard and become pretty useful. If you run something like the Revolt, the Beagle, followed by one of these AoE pistols, there is absolutely no situation an Outlander cannot handle itself in, making all of these weapons something you should maybe consider unslotting now that we can do that, because most of them are slotted. Most of them were considered trash that were almost unusable, but now one-shotting an entire group of enemies in a 1 tile radius is not something that can just be overlooked. Pick one of these up, try it out, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you think these guns are absolutely worth it, or you're still gonna pass them up. And now finally, the special report, the Bobcat. The thing you have all been waiting for. Is this gun worth leveling up? Absolutely. I'm not going to go into too much detail exactly why. Just know that someone with over 350 days played in this game, I think that's what I have, I'm not really sure, is telling you that this gun is pretty damn good. It is static rolls, so don't be too disappointed if you get something that you don't like right off the bat. But with the recombobulator system, feel free to level it up any way you want to. I personally will give you my preferences, but that's just me. If you want something different, feel free to do it. This gun will probably work any which way you roll it. Now, if you know me and if you know my channel, I don't really like to play the meta stuff. I don't really like to play things that are considered the best in the game because I feel like you don't need to. I would much rather be having fun with the game on a character that I think has a cool kit or at least interacts differently in the game than picking the best and most powerful thing in the game. There's no reason to it. This game, like I always say, is not hard enough to do that yet. Hopefully, one day we'll get there. So the Bobcat is an incredible gun. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not anti-meta or anything like that. I wasn't trying to express those feelings. Just, I've heard mixed feelings about it. People say it's just like a Siegebreaker, it's just like the Spectre, and technically the Spectre probably in the end has a higher DPS just because it has that interesting 20% base crit chance and this gun doesn't. The rate of fire is pretty similar, with I think the Spectre edging out just a little bit. However, this does have a larger magazine size. Being the only gun that you can actually get just the one Bobcat, I personally would roll it something like this. Now, when I'm making these videos, I always try to remember who might be watching them. If you're a late game player like me, your Bobcat might and most likely will look pretty similar to mine, with damage, physical or energy, slow and snare, and slow and snare. The Bobcat originally comes with a 6 perk of damage to slows and snares the target on the 6 perk, but gives you missed monster bonus damage on the 5th, so you're gonna have to change that. This is how I would run it, but you have to think, if you're just starting out in this game and you see this cool new weapon in the event store and you do not have an elemental weapon, I would absolutely make this part of your core set of weapons. Maybe keep it energy as an obsidian, bright core kind of everyday weapon, but most likely this gun is 100% okay and good enough to bring into Shadow Shard and stick an element on it. So if you have a fire weapon and a nature weapon and you're lacking a water assault rifle, this thing classifies, and it classifies very well. This gun is not to be underestimated. It is insanely powerful, insanely fast. It sounds great. It shoots amazingly. I love it. I really, really do. Guys, try it out. Pick it up. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This gun is considered to be kind of a hybrid between the Siegebreaker and the Spectre, but I don't really see it like that. I kind of see it as its own thing. It's just a lot of fun to use. The damage is not bad at all, so when you do level it up, try it out. I kept mine physical, and when I find a physical wave or a smasher or anything to that effect, I decimate that thing. It's hilarious, it's fun to see, it's fun to use. Pick it up. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think. So that's about it, guys. That is your Storm report. We have the Bobcat, the collection book unslotting, the research tree to get any character you want in the game, as long as it's not from an event, and the pistol damage bonus. All of these things combined make this game even a better playing experience than it ever has been. We have a lot of stuff coming in Fortnite and on this channel. I'll see you next week.